All right. And we're back. How do you like that?
Hey.
So, this has been a hell of a week.
Couple weeks.
Let's start off with the obvious. All the court things that are going on.
You mean the volley back and forth?
Well, it's not just. I mean, everyone is seeing some sort of judicial reckoning right now. All the way down to your favorite gay frogman.
Frogman?
Yeah. They're putting chemicals in the water that turn the frogs gay.
You must be talking about DeSantis.
No. Actually, that shitty talk show host from I don't even remember the name of his show. All he does is hold on a second. All he does is talk shit and sell a bunch of useless products. Alex Jones.
Oh, Alex Jones, yes. Yeah, well, they stopped his second day of testimony on the stand. That was probably a wise idea.
Oh, yeah.
His first day was a nightmare.
Then they brought it back again because he...
Oh, he came back? I didn't see anymore. I would have seen it. You should have let me know.
Yeah, because he's... they wanted to address the... all the stuff that he's been saying to the media about the judge.
I remember. Mm-hmm.
And the pictures that he made of... that his team made of the judge that he knew nothing about.
Yeah, laser eyes and so on, yeah.
Right. And in flames at one point.
Burning, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, okay, even if you are a Republican, you have to have some brain cells.
Yeah.
And how do you think that it's okay to
Why would you piss off the judge during the case?
To antagonize the judge who's presiding over your case, unless you're intentionally trying to get a mistrial. But it's already past that. He's already been found.
That's true too. Now we're down to the damages phase. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can't just. He's not going to get away with it.
No, in fact, if anything, he's just making it worse for himself, especially in court in front of the jury.
Right. What would be the purpose of doing, saying how the judge is corrupt and, the whole thing, she's a tyrant.
Right.
What do you serve to gain by that?
Yeah, but I don't know, I've heard a few things from what his wife's had to say, and I'm not really sure how much I take that, but, she's saying he's had issues for quite some time that she didn't realize until she got involved with him. That he's always been further and further,
for
Cocoa Puffs. Yeah.
Well, like I said, he's the one who said we were putting chemicals in the water to turn the frogs gay.
Right. But if you watch some of his stuff, like if you watch older clips from him and, in a progression, I think you can see where he started off as, conservative, of course, and even more so, but just how all over the place he became. And then how more into conspiracy theories, how deeper he got. That's probably what did it to him. He started his show at the beginning of finding rabbit holes, and then the show was watching him plunge down it, I guess. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't watch a lot of his stuff, pretty much what I've seen here and there on the net, But.
See, he reminds me of Glenn Beck in reverse. Glenn Beck started off really
not only
bad,
Glenn Beck,
and
but
he's calmed down.
Rush Limbaugh too.
I liked Rush in the beginning, but then he turned into a nutcase.
Yeah, like pretty obviously too.
But Glenn Beck started off as a nutcase, and he's toned it down quite a bit since his early days.
Yeah, but I think he's still out there with some of the things he espouses. Still.
Oh, I'm sure. I no doubt. But you can't put him in the
Publicly,
same.
anyway.
You can't put him in the same conversation as Hannity or that other Tucker Carlson type of.
No, but I don't
Looney
think he
Tunes.
would. If you would corner him into a conversation, he may not denounce that stuff as right off as you might hope.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I used to watch him when I thought he was funny. You know.
Yeah, I've seen him, and I've heard a few of his radio things.
But so Alex Jones is in a world of shit. He's already been nailed for what was the first case? What did he get? 14 million or something?
Oh no, more than that. Jeez. Well, they broke it down. I mean, I don't remember the totals, but it's significant. It's significant.
Right.
I remember one figure that keeps sticking in my head is like 42 million or something like that. That was the first trial when he was going. They were going for much higher, but
right.
Texas has certain laws and
that you can't cap it at so much.
Yeah, and it's really not much, but there are ways and damages that are beyond that.
Right.
So that's, I think, why they're breaking down the damages portion in such a way as to wring out the most. I thought tort reform is the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. I mean, because it kind of is on the subject, because people are getting screwed because of such laws. And all those laws do are protect big companies, man. Big companies don't listen to anything other than money. They're not going to hear, if they're a multi-billion-dollar company, a couple of $1 million. I mean, they made interest on that. They made their money back during the trial. I mean, whatever. There's no loss when you can't hit them hard. And I know a lot of that started from the hot coffee from McDonald's, but if you look at that case, wow, it's eye-opening. I didn't realize, because I didn't know what the case was, how bad it was.
Oh, it was.
This woman almost lost her, her genitalia.
Yeah. Her skin.
Holy crap!
Skin on her legs and her thighs were.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and all she wanted to do was just recoup the money from all the medical bills. That's it.
Right.
She wasn't even seeking, damages or anything else. But holy fuck, she deserved it.
They offered her what, a couple $100?
I think. Was the first offer? Actually, during the findings of that, they found 700 other complaints of a similar thing happening. Where people got, whatever, the coffee was just too hot. And so yeah, I mean, but the damages, I don't remember the initial amount of damages. Probably similar to like what the thing I had to do with Walmart was. Oh man, that was fucking ridiculous. But good luck getting a lawyer here. I live, basically across the street from Walmart. So the lawyers here just run away. Man, could have touched that. And they've got a company, a whole building set up just for claims, just like a call center, holy cow, what a process.
Wholesale warehouse distribution?
Pretty much, but that's for insurance claims against the company. Yeah, if I didn't have that, I'd have no avenue. None.
So
And anyway, so that's that.
Alex Jones just took it upon himself to basically rail against this judge. And it just baffles me, the idiocy of people nowadays. And that brings me to the next court case. Did you hear about the court case involving the man who was alleged to have driven through a Christmas Day parade?
Yeah, I remember it happening. I was watching the news the day it was published. He's
now in court. He's facing 72 charges. 6 of them carry life in prison sentences.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And he just went to the judge and asked if she could remove his law team, his legal team.
Alrighty.
Because he's a sovereign citizen and feels he can represent himself better.
Oh, wow. Sovereign citizen. Here we go.
And
That's
he
nice.
feels he can represent himself better than any attorney could.
Okay. He has the right to. I mean,
yeah.
you can have a whatever. It's your right to defend yourself. But
I watched the proceedings on that motion. What he actually tried to ask the judge was, can you withdraw my legal counsel and just have him stand by in case I need some advice? And she's like, that's not how it works.
No, it doesn't work that way. No, sir.
No, and if you change, and you're not going to delay this trial, so if you change your mind midstream, too bad.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Why is he? Well, clearly, I don't know, man. He drove into that crowd of people. Wow. What's he? I don't know what drives a person to do that. Is he mentally unstable?
He wants to defend himself.
I would imagine so.
He wants to defend himself against 6 murder charges with no legal counsel against a DA who's got 72 years legal experience between the
combined,
3 of them.
Yeah. Well, that's irregardless. There's evidence.
He's mental. He's
but there's video evidence. He's going to get found guilty. That's simple. But, perhaps he needs something more than just a prison cell. Maybe he does need some care so he can get well, so he can be a sane person serving out his prison term. But nonetheless, if he's got some mental faculty issues,
he doesn't, or else they wouldn't be allowed to let him represent himself.
Well, has he gone through psych evals and all that?
Yep.
Oh, he has, and he's been found fit, huh?
Yep.
Well, have at it. Save the taxpayers some money. He's going to be guilty anyway. It's just a matter how much time he gets. He's getting life or a death penalty, whichever.
She said if they do everything consecutively, he's looking at 1,300 years.
Yeah, so let him represent himself. What difference is it? What harm is he going to do? None. They have too much evidence. There's overwhelming evidence. Let him have his fun. It's going to be fast because he's not going to know how far to go and what to do. And it becomes irrelevant. The motherfucker's guilty. He's got caught red-handed. There's a video of him driving the car.
What would drive a person to say, I want to put my life in my own hands rather than experienced professionals?
Well, imagine the stress that puts on you anyway. You're guilty. You're going to prison for goodbye. And, it's like watching a train hitting you, I suppose. That's a lot of stress, So whatever. If the dude wants to represent himself, all right. You sure about that, buddy? Your decision. But it doesn't really matter. He, even if he can appeal it later on, there's much overwhelming evidence. I mean, maybe he could be convicted on an insanity plea or something. Well, no, you just said that he's been evaluated.
Right.
So if that's the case, then yeah. But maybe he can also do a diminished capacity or something else.
No, they evaluated him. They said he's literate. He has a high enough education, and he's not mentally incapacitated. And he's capable of representing himself and speaking his thoughts clearly and concisely in court.
In other words, he's sane enough to understand what he did was wrong.
Right.
Wow. Well, hey, man, he does have the right to represent himself. Maybe he's got some other kind of reason behind why he wants to do it. Maybe he knows no matter what, he's toast. Might as well go out on his terms. I don't know. Maybe that was his plan all along. Who knows what was in his friggin' head. Maybe he saw something on the internet that disturbed him. So it's really maybe that's what he doesn't want. Maybe he doesn't want personal crap of his to get let out to the public. Because if it got known to prison that he was a this or that person,
Well, I have a feeling that he, being a sovereign citizen, wanted to get rid of his legal team because they wouldn't go to bat for him and fight the court saying they had no jurisdiction over him because he's not, he's a sovereign citizen, not a member of the United States, but he's a member of the other United States.
Yeah, that doesn't really exist.
And so because his legal team wouldn't do it, he's going to do it for him. I bet that's going to be his first
argument. You think that's going to be his defense?
I bet you that's going to be his first argument. Yep. He's going to make a motion to have it thrown out because the judge has no jurisdiction over him.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that. And they don't want to argue that motion. I got you. Because there's no argument for it from the legal side.
Yeah.
So that's why he has to get rid of his legal team, because there's nowhere, everybody else, it's an insane thing to try to plead. So he's going to be the first one, I guess, to try and do the sovereign citizen deal. So regardless, does that mean he's got diplomatic immunity then? He can just drive through a crowd of fucking people? Just because they're in his way, he could just go that way? That's okay.
I don't know how the sovereign
citizen. So that doesn't absolve
works.
him of that. It doesn't absolve him of his actions. Those people had a right to live. They had a right to sit there as much as he did. Well, maybe not, because they probably pay the taxes on the roads that he thinks is something he shouldn't pay for. So maybe, in fact, he's the one illegal in the first place because he doesn't have the right to be there. He's not paying the taxes. If he's a sovereign citizen, he had no right to be on the road in the first place. There's many ways you can argue that, I suppose.
Because he's a sovereign citizen, he can be on the road anytime he wants, in any vehicle he wants, because he's not driving on the road, he's traveling. And you can't stop someone from traveling.
Okay, irregardless. Those people were, doing whatever it was that they were doing there as well.
I agree. So, I just think, like I said, this is
how does he defend against that? You mean he had the right to run them over like GTA?
I don't know. I don't know how the sovereign mind works. It may be that
I knew someone at work that was like that once.
Your laws don't apply to me, so I don't know if that includes murder. Because I've seen a lot of, I don't have to follow your rules because I'm a sovereign citizen and you can't dictate to me what I can do and can't do. Now, I don't know if that applies to murder as well.
I don't know. I would imagine that they still fall under, certain laws and stuff like that too. I don't know. Interesting. But they would, even still, let's just say that you give them that sovereign thing. Okay, that's fine. But do you treat them like through international law? They must follow some law, some, human guidance of sorts that everybody has, that the Wild West had a law,
I would assume, being analytical, if they're in your country and they're committing crimes, you treat them like an illegal immigrant.
Sure. Where do you deport them to, though?
Hold them in a deportation tank until you can figure that out.
You're going to be there for a while.
Or tell them, I know your sentence. Instead of, 1,300 years, your sentence is 600 years in Alaska. You cannot leave the state of Alaska. You're still in the United States. You're just not bothering anybody now.
Oh, we'll put them on an atoll then, if that's the case. Put them in the middle of the ocean someplace. We got plenty of little islands.
Now we have that
Snake Island. There you go.
We have that genius who wants to represent himself. Right. Speaking of geniuses, Mike Lindell's in court as well.
Yeah, his attorney just had his phone seized too, from what I understand. Or maybe not his attorney, but apparently the mastermind behind all this.
Right. Yes.
He had his phone seized.
Yes.
You will. Like,
and apparently Lindell got another phone. Apparently Lindell got another phone, but he didn't store his stuff on the cloud. so he can't download it to his phone. So all his business shit is still on that other phone.
Nice.
So, yeah, and the judge just told him, yeah, no, these things are your insane request to have everything delivered back to you is not going to fly. It's denied. He contended that the FBI stole his property, and was causing him financial hardship.
Lindell was, but when this other guy did the thing, he said they got me when he was coming out of the potty. He says,
"Oh yeah, because he's a teacher. He's a chemistry
right,
teacher
and his language is quite soft, but whatever." Right. I've heard the term before. It's just been a long time.
So they caught him coming out of the potty. They caught Lindell in the drive-through at Arby's
But he said that was cool to him. They gave him a subpoena and a summons, and made sure he understood what he was looking at. They didn't, that's the same thing they did to Lindell too. It's just that he was just a prick about it. That's all.
Absolutely.
Eastman was nice. I like that one. That one was good.
Oh yeah. Now our fourth case. The Donald.
Only the fourth? Doesn't he have like 18 by now?
Hold on.
Anyway.
He his handpicked lawyer twisted and denied the judgments by the what they call him, the master.
Oh, the special master,
yeah. And she said, he can't force Trump to swear an affidavit as to what those things were.
You're talking about Eileen, what's her face?
Yeah, Cannon.
The judge?
Cannon.
Yeah.
She said he doesn't have to, him and his lawyers don't have to sign affidavits or swear to anything in court, that the report from the FBI should be enough.
Right. Plus she gave up some schedule that went all the way out to December, whatever.
Which the special master said he was going to have it done by the beginning of November.
Right. And then the DOJ just sent an appeal to that to the 11th Circuit Court, I think. Above, same court that denied his last motion. Trying to put a muzzle on Eileen and set her straight, or whatever.
Somebody should. I mean, she technically, this extended jurisdiction stuff doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, well, even Trump saying no, I want to keep the lawyer or the judge we have. We don't want to go anywhere else. That's not his call. He's trying to keep things private, and the special master is answering him publicly and saying, no, this is what we need to do. I mean, I can't decide what is what. How do I know what you're thinking? You need to, because he was sent a manifest of everything that they had. And he's like, okay, now look at all this stuff and say, what's what? What do you deem yours? What do you deem whatever? And then I can look through that and figure it all out. But otherwise, he's got nothing. So it makes sense. His request is not unreasonable. It's it's like in his job description, to do that.
Right. I just don't understand how she says she has some sort of extended jurisdiction or some exception to the jurisdiction thing, because she doesn't have jurisdiction over that case.
No, she doesn't.
So why doesn't someone, even the Supreme Court, go, oh, you don't have jurisdiction, bitch. Get off the case. Court.
I think it needs to be presented to them. I don't know how that works, but I think when it comes to the Supreme Court, I don't know if that's something they can directly intervene with. And I don't want them to at this point. They scare me too much. I'd rather they just stayed away from it.
I'd rather they pull this bitch off the case.
Right, but man, with how corrupt our Supreme Court is right now,
Yeah, but I don't think it
I
has
don't
to
know.
go to the federal Supreme Court. I think it goes to the state Supreme Court.
Well, wait a minute, but there is something that's heading toward the Supreme Court, and it has to do with it's a little bit more than executive, whether Trump has like an executive immunity for while he was a president, certain things in the capacity of his job. Now, if that's the case, it makes this whole
No,
January
that was
6th
already
thing go
decided.
away.
That was
You
already
sure
decided.
about that? Because that's recently. Yeah. That's only like in a few hours.
Yeah,
that was like today.
They said what I saw was
okay. Then I haven't been looking
that they said that she can.
How fast the fucking news changes. Are you kidding me? Holy crap. I only learned about this shit a few hours ago over coffee. And this afternoon, it's already changed again. I guess that's good. Is the answer favorable?
I believe they said that she can continue with her case because he was not acting as the president when he made those statements, because that's not the job of any president.
No, it's damn sure not. I mean, I think if he intermingled that with the presidency, then I would think that his punishment would be harsher. Because he basically did a coup against the U.S. Call it what you will. That's insurrection. It's the same thing. He was trying to take over his office, and he almost succeeded. They're going to succeed next time if we don't hang on to what we've got. He'll succeed next time. Because they're really trying to put attorney generals in place, secretaries of state in place, various states in the country, people that have the ability to do the things that other secretaries of state would not do. And I don't know what happens if someone illegally sends a false state of electors in.
As of 3 hours ago, Trump is scheduled to be deposed next month in the E. Jean Carroll case for the defamation.
Okay, so what does that have to do with that other case?
Wait, I'm confused because now this says a federal appeals court set aside a judge's ruling, but that's 4 days ago. Yeah,
so that's not the same one because these are all done every day this week. There's been some kind of back and forth between the special master and Cannon or whatever. I keep losing her name.
No, you're right. It's Cannon. There's the defamation lawsuit. Is a writer is suing him for defamation because he called her a liar.
I'm not paying. I've heard that. I've seen that headline flash by, but I haven't been paying attention to it.
Well,
so okay, good. You can tell me what's going on because I don't know.
Apparently, years ago, she was, for lack of a better term, accosted, molested by Trump.
Oh, the rape case, right?
Yes. And he said that she's a liar and this and that, but he said it while he was the president and said that because I said it while I was the president, she can't sue me.
So now the DOJ has to represent them if it was something that was done in his office. And that means same thing with the January 6th, that they'd have to represent him on that as well. Yeah.
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 So he's got to he's going to be deposed this month. Let's say.
So we got to pay his fucking legal bills again.
Yeah, October 19th.
Unfucking real. And you know what they should do though, because this is what I've been hearing, is give him the dude fresh out of law school that's never even seen the inside of a courtroom other than school. Hey, we just got to provide him fucking law people. We don't have to give him the best and brightest. Do you think he'd do that to us? Fuck no. He'd give us Charlie Brown if he could.
I have a better
SpongeBob
idea.
And shit. What?
If he loses, he has to pay all legal fees.
Can't get blood out of a stone or a Twinkie in his case.
He's supposed to be worth $4 billion.
He ain't $4 billion. Yeah, you must not have seen the receipts for his properties that are unbelievably overinflated. But we knew that.
So that is This Week in Court. Now, we have a few other things to discuss. Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting divorced.
Yeah, I heard that. Smart man.
It couldn't have happened to a nicer woman.
Right. Well, I think her kids aren't too happy with her either, from what I'm hearing, but that's besides the point.
I'd like to know if it's coincidental that the divorce announcement came out directly after she released that Rambo campaign video.
Oh, the hog video?
Yeah.
Where she's shooting hogs, which are us?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is interesting. Maybe that's one of the reasons why that he was tired of her nonsense.
It's funny how she says, this is a private matter, and I hope you all keep it private.
Yeah.
This is coming from the girl who chased down a
kid,
school shooting victim.
18-year-old kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when her first few weeks of office, too.
No, she wasn't even in office.
Oh, this was before her swearing in. You're right, it was.
She wasn't. Right. No, she wasn't even elected.
No, I think she was elected at that point. But anyway, regardless, she wasn't technically an official yet.
Right.
That's nuts.
And the same person who stuck her sweaty little snout inside AOC's mail slot.
Oh, right. Hope she had that sanitized.
I hope she had it burned. But it's amazing how she can ask people for privacy in her private matters.
And that's what's been burning around the net about that too. That's pretty much the consensus people have been saying to her. You'll get privacy when you show the same. Until then, fuck you.
Yeah, you get what
fuck
you get.
You and your privacy. That's right. That's right. Karma's a bitch. Definitely is.
We still have the lawsuits coming from Dominion.
Oh yeah, Sidney Powell too. That's right. If I'm not mistaken, she failed to show up to her deposition.
You are correct.
Yeah, that was nice, huh?
Yeah. Yes, she's a lawyer and didn't. She said that there was
she got confused or something. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're a lawyer. You don't forget shit. You know everything that's going on. Makes no sense.
So let's move on to a few other things. Have you heard anything about this? About DeSantis and his illegal immigration stunt that he pulled?
You to Martha's Vineyard from Texas? Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to find out if anything's been done yet. I mean, are these guys, the guys who were sent to Martha's Vineyard, are they?
They filed a class action suit against them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Are they housed somewhere, or did they get taken to a government facility?
No, they did. They got moved, I believe, to the mainland at a military base where they could be properly housed and, whatever, where they have facilities to take care of 50 people. Right. Martha's Vineyard can't take care of that. That's at the end of their season. I bet you a lot of things are staffed. They probably don't have food, resources, and everything else. They're gearing up for winter on that island. Right. Everything closes down. So that was bad timing on that part. But believe me, there's plenty of lawyers that were all pissed off when this happened up on Martha's Vineyard. So they're offering their services. These people have been set up. Plus, they're pissed off at the Sanders. How fucking dare you do all this? So, because I remember you saw that video I sent you of the, I think it was the mayor of Martha's Vineyard. I don't remember her name.
The woman?
Yeah. And she basically went off, you know. And the things that they were said, the information that they were given, some of it was even in English. It's like, really? The important information was in English. Really? How they set these people up to fail? They sent them up to have, huge legal responsibilities that those dates were fast approaching. You know, they would have been totally screwed, and they were set up to fail. The furthest possible, hardest place to get in and out of possible, only by air or sea. You know, you can't drive to Martha's Vineyard.
Well, did they get like a stay for all those court dates?
Oh no, they've got lawyers. I mean, they've got representation now. You know, that phone calls have been made on their behalf and all kinds of things like that.
All right, so it's not like
plus, well, wait a minute. Well, some of the things that they can do now, thanks to DeSantis, is under our immigration laws and asylum seeking shit, whatever. These people can seek all kinds of, you know, benefits from the government. You know, they're going to be set. They're going to have money. They're going to have.
I'm not worried about
things
the money.
like that.
I'm worried about.
Well, no, I mean that's because he did something so egregious. You know, now he gave these people more of these benefits now. Hell, he spent $12,000 a piece to fly them up there.
Was anyone able to get a hold of the courts that they were supposed to be in and say this isn't going to happen? We need an extension.
Well, no, that was addressed in the announcement that they were going to make sure that these people's needs were met legally and whatever. They were intervening on the behalf of the people, the state of Massachusetts. So yeah, I'm sure of that. You know, that's probably another. Well, plus they're at a military base. It's not like they're running. You know, you don't have to go far to find them.
I'm just curious. Do you think that telepathy is a legal defense? Hold on.
Everything all right?
Everything is just peachy.
Okay.
Well, what I mean by telepathy is DeSantis said that they went to Texas, and he knew that eventually they were going to end up in Florida. He knew that they were going to come to Florida. So he
the whole plan from the beginning was for that. Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is he's saying that he knew that the migrants that came into Texas were going to
he assumed. He made that assumption, yes.
Oh yeah. No, there was
He's
no
like, they're going to wind up here anyway. So yeah.
So is that a legal defense saying that I knew it was going to happen, so I took preventative measures ahead of time? No.
No. It's a rhetorical question. Yes, I know.
Probably not. Which brings me to his mentor, Donald Trump, who said, "Yes, I declassify things. Did you know you could declassify things just by thinking
about it? Yeah, with bleach and a bright light up your butt. Yeah, that's how you can read them at night. The bleach allows the ink to be seen.
These guys are in positions of power, and they are dumber than a high school student.
No, I don't think there's Trump. I think in many ways I agree with you that he's pretty stupid, but in many ways I hate to give him credit, but he plays people in the right way. He knows how to play the system. He knows how to get into people somehow. Although he only plays his music only attracts certain things, and right now he's attracting the confused and the perhaps even the lower educated. No disrespect to anyone. People like myself that's got some ADD issues. Yeah, he's a grifter, but he knows how to reach the dimmer bulbs on the tree. You know, and I suppose he's managed to get a few of the really smart ones too. But I mean, it's hard to change the mind of somebody once they've latched onto something, and that's typically the type of personality that you want to get in Trump's court, because you cannot change their mind once they've made it up. They have to change it on their own, and that's almost an impossibility.
Last bit of celebrity news is Amber Heard, the actress, who lost her case against Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
her lawyers are now being sued.
By?
I have to look into it. I believe it has to do with, see, as a celebrity, and we don't get this status, but as a celebrity, her lawyers were paid for through her insurance.
Huh. Wow.
But there was a clash because she had one insurance company in New York and one in California, and somehow there was an overpayment or underpayment or something, and they both canceled the policy midstream. So now they're trying to get, it's a complicated bullshit mess that is never going to end for her. Never going to end for her.
I seriously
I
doubt
didn't
it was
know
worth
that.
it.
I did not know that you could have like homeowners insurance that covers slander and libel cases.
If you have enough money.
Apparently so.
I can't imagine what that policy cost, though. That's got to be enormous cost. Because you know how much a trial could cost. Oh, my God. Especially if it's drawn out. And with someone like, of her status, their status, those types of things are the odds have increased that they're going to happen, that they're going to need that insurance. So I can't imagine what the premium is. I mean, you're talking millions of dollars that you can spend on attorney fees, especially in cases like that. The lawyers wind up making great on both sides. They both get paid. One way or another, they get paid.
Now, I have some sad news to announce for some of you, but not all of you. Matt, you sit there and shut up. One of the greatest wrestlers in the history of the sport passed away yesterday at the age of 79, Antonio Inoki. He worked with the WWF in the late 60s, early 70s. He was the wrestler. He was the wrestler who also faced Muhammad Ali in a boxer versus wrestling match. He's also the wrestler that founded I believe it was New Japan Wrestling back in the 70s, and it's still still going strong today. And he passed away from medical complications yesterday. So it's sad, but you got to look at it the way we always look at it and say, well, at least he's not suffering,
Yeah, right. I can imagine his career too, especially back then.
And he was tall too. He was huge. We're talking, a good 6'7", 6'8" for back in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, dude. Yeah, I just wanted to pay my respects to, the legend and let everybody know, that's the way it is. Pour one out for the homies.
Don't clink and not drink.
Here's the last thing. Florida.
Yeah, they got hammered. They got hammered hard.
Now, is this going to be like Katrina, where FEMA shows up, but they show up late and they show up ill-equipped?
I don't know. From the sounds of it, the only thing they seem to be missing right now is porta potties. That's what I've been hearing on the news. But it's hard to get when the causeways are destroyed and there's no way out unless you're air or a boat. So they have gotten, at least from the reports I've seen from a few hours ago, they seem to be good. I mean, everything seems to be happening. They have contacts. They've got websites up for people to find lost, whatever, make connections. They've got stuff on the ground to feed the people that don't want to necessarily leave their possessions behind. So they're not forcing people off these places yet. So they're trying to take care of them best they can.
Have you heard anything about the fatality rate?
I think
I heard two different numbers. One number I heard was 30, and then DeSantos said, no, it's more like 2.
No, it's the last I think I heard was like 37, but I heard also that there are still thousands of people missing. I mean, otherwise unaccounted for. So they could be who knows what. But when you look at like Fort Myers, for example, the concrete slabs that these places were on are gone. there's just sand there. So, and some people, like one dude tried to stay on his boat. He survived because he had a really big boat, whatever. But still, he wound up in a parking lot. So,
So do you
plus
think
the high
DeSantos is
rises,
down?
there's rooftops missing off of high rises. And a lot of people, I could
Really?
see them staying in some of their high rise buildings because they're concrete, they're pretty strong. But some high buildings are completely gone. Like not even their pylons are there. They're just gone.
Right.
You're popular.
Yeah, usually. My fingers don't work. Closed. Okay. Do you think he's downplaying the numbers because
I haven't seen anything from him really.
well, he did put out one statement that said it was not 30, it was more like 2.
Yeah, I don't watch anything from him, so I'll have to take your word on that. I can't stand looking that dude's face. I just want to punch his head in. Shit just spews out of his mouth. He's like an open sewer hole.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And
So
and
I
and
expect him to
somehow
lie in one way or another.
Matt Gaetz got away with this.
I can't believe that. I heard about that.
I don't understand the logic in not pursuing the case.
Maybe it's money. He comes from a very wealthy family. Yeah, he's definitely got money.
He's got to be done in Florida. He's got to be.
I don't know. This November is going to say a lot. It's going to say so much.
Did you hear he opened up a Twitch channel?
I heard about it, but I don't know really anything about it. I don't remember.
He did his first podcast the other day. He had a total of 6 concurrent viewers. In other words, no more than 6 people. No more than 6 people at any time watching his cast.
That's awesome. That's great news. I like that. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Well, when you say that certain people don't have to worry about abortions because they look like a thumb. When you make a statement like that, I think that doesn't resonate very well with your base.
That reminds me. The last thing I want to talk about. You remember that Ohio case?
Did I remind you of a thumb? What?
You remember that Ohio case with that 10-year-old?
Yeah. Talking about the abortion incest case.
I saw studies, and it says basically that there's a lot of underage children in Ohio that are pregnant from incest and need abortions.
What?
They said I think it was in 2020, which is the last known count that they have, there were 52 minors under teenage years that needed abortions for incest or rape. 52.
Holy crap.
That have to go out of state now. That would have to go out of state to get an abortion.
Yeah, and they want to try and make that criminal. Going from one state to another and going to a sanctuary state, or whatever they want to call it, So yeah. Yeah, we can't lose the House and Senate. We can't lose either one of them. In fact, we have to gain at least 2 seats in the Senate to nullify Manchin and Sinema's votes. Yeah. Well, otherwise our rights are down the toilet. If they manage to somehow, they have enough momentum, which I want to say that they've done so much damage to themselves all by themselves. To where they're really demonizing people together. I mean, my family too has been fractured because of this, but they're seeing my resolve, I guess. That I'm not willing to It's not worth that sacrifice for me. I try not to even discuss it. You know, we don't have to, but still, it's still a tension. It doesn't need to exist at all. So maybe that enough is strong enough to get people to vote against what they normally don't do and vote blue. Let's get these people out, get control, and then we can start to vote the people we really want in, regardless of what they follow. It's just we need a better grip on that. And if we let this slip, we're going to lose our elections. They're going to take it away from us. They're going to make it so that our votes really are worthless. We got to do something about that.
Well, I was just looking at the stats, and 52 in Ohio under the age of 15. Well, under the age of 19. From 15 to 19, there's 17.6. So 17 out of 52 were 15 to 19. The rest were under the age of 15.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's sad. And they're saying, it's too bad, we're not going to help you. Because even a fetus is a life from conception. Yeah, okay, but so you're going to ruin one life for another? Because no 10-year-old is ready to be a mother.
Plus, it's all the circumstances, too. You know, I mean, if we can't, they don't want us to educate kids on that stuff, you know, because, I don't know, it violates some kind of religious whatever. You know, we need to educate our kids on what happens when there's, you know, we got to go further than birds and bees. You know, teach them how to use contraceptives, make them available. So when they are, and I know this situation is different because we're talking about a violation, but even still, you know, the ones that are normal, you know, let's educate kids on that. Yeah. You know, if they don't want the abortion, then teach the way to do it the other way. You know, you can't have it all ways because they don't even want contraception. Come on. We live in a world where that's okay. They're trying to have it all ways. And I tell you, man, if they can have their way, they will make this a Christian forced, you know, situation in this country where it'll be mandatory. You know, all churches will be, you know, type situation. Are you kidding me? And how that even happened, it blows me away because that's not what Christians are about. You know, but it sure seems like they want one nation under God, a Christian God. You know, am I wrong? I'm seeing that a lot on their talking points. You know, we need more God in school. No, we don't. You can pay for that if you want that. You know,
if the only reason you're a good person is because because you're planning to go to heaven, then you're like, that's like believing in Santa Claus. It's like what is life worth? You know, like, why are you even here? What's the point?
I guess in a nutshell, it's a Santa Claus comparison. You know, just because you believe that, you know, I might consider that Santa Claus. You know, how dare you try to force your Santa Claus on my kid? You know, people should have that right. That's why one religion doesn't work, because we're a nation of many and none. You know, some people don't want to do any of them. That's your choice. You know, that's what gives us freedom. You know, look at what's going on in Iran right now. They can't even have any part of their hair showing. You know, one person wound up dead and they're starting a civil war in the country. You know, actually more like a revolution.
Oh, I know. I saw the videos of all the women.
Corner. There's no choice.
Burning their
hajib.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Yeah, look what time it is. Look what century we're in. Are you kidding me? Fuck you. I'm me. He can't hear you. You know, that drives me nuts that men just want to rule everything. And it's like, I don't like the way they're doing it either. You know? So, you know, they just need to mind themselves and don't worry about what everybody else is doing and try to bend their will.
You think the country will be split in half?
Hmm.
Where the southern states will annex themselves?
Our country?
Yeah.
The U.S.? Oh, I thought you were talking about Iran for a minute. I don't think so, because I don't think the citizens in those states would allow that. I don't think there's enough people that live in any one state, not even Texas, that would want to secede from the U.S. or secede from their neighbors. They know what those tax dollars bring. They know the capabilities of our federal government, and they see, like in Texas, for example, what happens when you don't. They've been paying for all these years into a system, their power grid that they thought was great because it was only theirs, and the Fed was out of it, or whatever, the regulation was out of it. Well, they've been fucked ever since a couple of years ago when the ice storm hit.
Right.
And now they're on the other end. The summers are too hot, so again they're shutting power off again. And now we got another winter coming, and they're still not ready for that. And that's because that instead of slowly investing to keep like a house, you got to invest a little bit here and there. And they chose to pay off shareholders and line their own pockets with whatever,
Right.
not fixing what's going on. That's the same with like that bridge that collapsed in PA. They allocated that money to other places. They didn't put it into roads. They had the money, but it went somewhere else. Now they need the money, and guess what? We don't have any. So, this Build Back Better thing was great, and they still voted down. It's like, I don't get it. It makes no sense to me at all. They want to fill their pockets and have this stuff just magically appear.
Okay, but if you don't see that happening, do you see a third party being formed out of this? I know the independents are there. I know we have a third party. I know we have a third party independents, but no, a third major party.
I think what we need to do, to be honest with you, is we need to deal with the Republican Party the way it is now. We got to find a way to.
But see, that's the problem, because the Republican
Party. We got to
Party
deal with that, because that's now the
But the Republican
National
Party is split in half right now.
Oh, they're more than split. Yeah. Anyway, you're right. They're split for sure.
And if what half do you deal with?
Well, just think about that now. If we go to yet another party, do we take the chance that enough people are going to vote for that new person outside of their current party to change the other two? Because that's really what you want to do. You want to vote for that third party, fourth party, whatever, and weaken the other two so that they're like, oh shit, we need to do something or we're out of it, in the future elections. That would be the point of the other party, to create a better positive change. But that only works if the right amount of people come to that new party to have it be a winner. Otherwise, it's still a crapshoot. Independents take votes out of Democrats. Although this last election, just with fucking Hillary and Trump, that was just stupid. I don't know why they did that. That was a guaranteed win for Trump. Guaranteed win. So anyway, I don't know. I think we would be better off to try to convince enough Republicans to join us for a few votes just to clean up the mess. They're not going to be able to control Republicans. They can't. But we can control Democrats. At least to a better degree than we. They're not gonna vote to take away your Social Security. They're not gonna vote to take away your rights. They're gonna vote to make things better as far as that goes. We're gonna have a better election system and so on. But in the meantime, we can have better candidates up there and start voting in these fucking people that we want to run our country, and start to take over that way. Fix the gerrymandering that's happening all over the place, and start to get rid of this friggin' corruption that we let fester and grow in our politics. You and I mean, my parents, we all let it happen. We got to fix it. We got to help the next generation be aware of it in such a way that they know how to continue to fix it in the future, so they don't fall into those traps that we let others fall into.
All right, Matt, we're coming up on our final few
I
minutes.
see.
So,
Sorry, I ranted.
no, it's good. Any final words you want to put out before we take off? Final thoughts?
Wow. Yeah, to those in the path of this hurricane, I definitely wish you all well, and hope you're all safe. Hope you have all your people accounted for. Pets. All your pets.
Pets.
But yeah, I guess that's it.
All right.
Be well.
Well, live long and prosper. I'm out.
Yeah, right.
See you in the funny papers.